Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is finally the video that I've been waiting to film for over a week now. I am going to be telling you guys the story of how I came to own this little guy. You just pee-peed all over me. Oh, gross. BB. Oh, he's pooping. Ah, he just pooped on me. Blue is a 2.5-year-old Easter Hermann's tortoise, and he is so adorable. I'm gonna tell you guys all about how I came to get him and a lot of specifics about his species and things, but while I talk to you guys about him, I am gonna put him up so that I don't stress him out. But how adorable is he? Seriously, he is a dream. Bye-bye for now. So I'm sure you guys are so curious as to how I came to own Blue, my new Easter Hermann's tortoise, and yes, I did decide to name him Blue. I was saving that name for my future bird, but honestly, the bird search is going on for so long, it is such a journey, so I decided to go on and name my tortoise Blue. I picked the name Blue after the velociraptor on Jurassic World, which I know is a girl velociraptor, but I feel like the name Blue can go either way. I was saving the name Blue for my future bird because they do have zygodactyl feet, which is so cute, and they remind me so much of dinosaurs because technically birds are dinosaurs or descendants of dinosaurs. So I was gonna name it Blue after the dinosaur on Jurassic World, but whenever I got my tortoise, I realized that Blue fit him so well. So I did decide to name him Blue, and he is adorable, and I hope that you guys like that name. Like I said, Blue is an Easter Hermann's tortoise. He is still a juvenile. He's only 2.5 years old. August 16, 2015 was his hatch date. So August 16th of this year, he will be officially 3 years old, which I think is so cute. I am glad that I got him as a juvenile. He is not an adult yet, but he is almost full grown, just not quite. He is 5 inches long. Male Eastern Hermann's tortoises typically stop growing at about 6 to 6.5 inches, so he may get a little bit bigger, but we will just have to wait and see. There's really no way of knowing. He is an Eastern Hermann's tortoise, like I mentioned, as opposed to the Western Hermann's tortoises, which is another subspecies of the Hermann's tortoises that I mentioned to you guys. So his subspecies or class is technically a Testudo hermanni bulgari, as opposed to the Western Hermann's tortoise, which is a Testudo hermanni hermanni. I was willing to take either of the subspecies. I love them both equally. The Westerns are a tiny bit smaller, but I always said if I ever got an Eastern, I really wanted a male since they do stay smaller than the females. Female Hermann's tortoises are typically a few inches larger than the males, so I am grateful that I got a boy. I'm just really happy about all of this. Side note, how beautiful is this Tyler Ruggie merch? Can we just talk about it? Look how beautiful Desmond and Mango are. I'll have the link in the description down below. So for years now, I have been on Craigslist looking for different animals at different times. You guys know that I have Koa, my rescue box turtle, and while I did not find him on Craigslist, I always go to Craigslist first. It's one of the easiest places to find animals that need homes or that have been neglected or that are being abandoned or whatever. So a couple years ago, as you guys know, I was doing a lot of research and I was really in the headspace of getting a tortoise. So of course I went to Craigslist. You guys know my struggle with Craigslist. It's so bittersweet. I love it and I hate it at the same time, but it also comes with a lot of crap, as in people suck, and they really are crappy to me, especially on Craigslist. I'm sure you guys have your own horror stories, but I have so many horror stories off Craigslist. It's actually insane. But like I said, it is the best place to find animals. So of course a couple years ago when I was looking for a tortoise, I decided to start with Craigslist. I've never seen a Hermann's tortoise on Craigslist in my entire Craigslist search life. I've never seen it. It just isn't a tortoise that you're gonna ever see on there for adoption very often or even being sold. Hermann's tortoises, the Eastern subspecies, while they are more common than the Western, you're typically never gonna find a Western, and if you do, they're very expensive. So to find one that's unwanted or being out for adoption is extremely rare. You may find it on a particular tortoise Facebook page, or you may find it on a particular forum, but to see it on Craigslist, it just doesn't happen. I've been periodically searching on Craigslist for a tortoise for a couple years now. I'll just go on there once a day, maybe even a few times a week. More like once a day though, let's be honest. And I'll just go on there and search around and see if there are any tortoises. You will find tons of sulcatas, tons of leopard tortoises, and tons of Russian tortoises. But like I said, you never see Hermann's. Hermann's tortoises, while are very popular in the tortoise trade, that's typically where they stay, within collectors and breeders and things like that. You're not gonna see them in a typical household, and even if someone does have a tortoise that they bought from like PetSmart or Petco or something like that, again, you're not gonna see many Hermann's. They're just not sold in pet stores and things. I always said that if I ever saw a Hermann's tortoise that was a male that was for adoption, I would snatch it up. Honestly, probably a female too, but specifically I always wanted a male. The thing with Hermann's tortoises is that even if I would have bought one from a breeder, you can't guarantee the sex. They can't guarantee it until they come into their sexual maturity at around ages 3 to 5. You're really not going to know if they are for sure a male or a female. So that's just kind of a risk that you take if you were to buy one from a breeder or pet store as a baby. Obviously, I haven't been in the market for a tortoise, even though I've wanted one and I've still been searching just for that, you know, 1 in a million opportunity. I wasn't going to buy one from a breeder, especially since I really wanted a male. I never thought that I would ever find one for adoption, but either way, I still wanted to search and try, so that's why I would kind of browse periodically. Fast forward to a month ago, I was on Craigslist just browsing around, and about a state away, just a few hours, I saw a post for a Hermann's tortoise. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, a Hermann's tortoise. The description was kind of brief. I'll show the post here so you can kind of see. There was only one photo. He looked healthy enough. I couldn't really see his shell or anything, you know, to make sure that he was healthy or whatever, but nonetheless, it was a Hermann's tortoise. It did say that it was a male. Since I had told myself no matter what, if I ever saw one for adoption, I would try to get it. I would at least make the effort to contact the person just so that I could know that I didn't pass up an opportunity. So of course, this person did not have a text message option on there, so I had to email. I know a lot of people like the anonymous anonymity of having an email, but I hate it. But I did shoot them an email just to give it a chance and see what happens. And of course, no response. This wasn't surprising to me. I honestly didn't think that I would ever hear back from her. I just kind of let it go and I was like, okay, come what may, I tried. So fast forward about 3 to 4 weeks, I completely forgot about it. Like, this literally happened a month ago. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a text message from the lady who posted the Hermann's tortoise for sale, and she was asking if I was still interested in him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, I sent this lady this email over a month ago. I can't believe that she's finally getting back to me. I seriously wasn't expecting this. I haven't even thought about this tortoise anymore past the day that I emailed it. Nothing good ever happens to me on Craigslist, literally. So of course, whenever she asked me if I was interested, I was like, sure, yeah, tell me about the tortoise. So she and I were in communication that day, back and forth, you know, just talking about the tortoise. She was telling me how big he was, how old he was, whether he was healthy or not, and also sending me a lot of pictures of him. Of course, with my Craigslist history, I didn't get my hopes up. I was very optimistic because she was the one who contacted me, but I didn't want to get my hopes up, so I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell any of my fellow YouTube creators. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell my brother. I didn't tell anyone because I was like, nothing good ever happens to me. They always flake on me. This probably isn't going to work out, but I'm trying. I'm gonna try. So the day came, I was supposed to meet her and go pick him up, and I was so excited but also anxious. I filmed all of that. You guys have already seen that video. I did release it last week, and I was really excited and ready, but a little part of me still didn't believe it. It didn't really sink in that it was happening. I mean, I've waited so long. I've searched for so long. Obviously, I still completely prepared. I went and got everything I needed for his enclosure, and I sat it up that day. I basically just pretended like everything was gonna work out, and I got really lucky, and it did. So I went to meet her. He was perfect. I ended up bringing him home, and the rest is history. I love him so much. He is so adorable. I really didn't know what to expect with owning a tortoise. You would think that it's the same as a box turtle, but their care is very different, so it really is a different experience. Honestly, if anyone were ever wanting a tortoise or a turtle or looking into any type of a reptile like that, I would highly recommend a tortoise over a turtle for many reasons, which I could go into in another video, but I love owning him. I love Koa too, obviously, but with the care differences, Blue is absolutely precious. I'm so grateful that I went through with it. I'm grateful that I shot her that random email over a month ago, and I'm so glad that everything worked out the way that it did. I really feel like it was meant to be. I'm really happy with Blue. I'm so grateful to have him. His care is much different than Koa's, so I wasn't really sure what to expect with owning him and what the experience of owning a tortoise was like. So far, I'm loving it. He's a lot of fun. He's really cute. We're still getting to know each other. He's not 100% comfortable with me holding him, but we're getting there. He's much more open than he was whenever I first got him. Yeah, I love him. Blue is adorable. So now I'm going to get him out and talk to you guys about him a little bit and show you him up close, and we're going to talk about some of the things that I noticed about him whenever I very first got him and things like that. Okay, so here he is in all his glory. He is about 5 inches long, which is basically about the length of my hand. He is a juvenile, 2.5 years old, so he is not full grown yet, and he is absolutely adorable. Look at that face. He's so cute. So I got really lucky with him. The lady who actually had him before I got him took really good care of him. Blue is actually one of 3 tortoises that she had. The story that she told me is that she bought 3 babies from a breeder, a very reputable breeder off of Facebook, and she bought all 3 of the babies, obviously not knowing whether they were male or females, and she hoped that they were all females so that she could keep them. All 3 babies turned out to be males, and that's why she was rehoming them. She did end up keeping one of the male babies, which I guess was her favorite one. He was the last one that she had to rehome out of the trio, and I got him. So while the lady took very good care of Blue, there are a couple of things that I did notice that she probably could have done better or improved on. Not big deals, and definitely not anything that I'm concerned about. One of the things is probably the humidity in the enclosure that she had him in. As you can see, Blue does have a teeny tiny bit of pyramiding, which is something that you really want to watch out with tortoises because it can lead to shell deformities and things. He is completely healthy. I'm so grateful. He is nowhere near the condition that Koa is in from Koa's previous neglect, but I will show you guys up close the tiny bit of pyramiding here, which typically can affect these little scoots right here on his back. But again, it's nothing serious. It's nothing that can't be improved upon. Obviously, this can never be reversed, but it can be prevented from getting worse. But I'm going to show you guys that up close just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Can you guys see the little ridges here on the top of his shell? It's very slight and not a big deal at all, but you can definitely see there's a little bit of raised right there. That's a very minor case of pyramiding. It's nothing to be alarmed on, but if you guys see that in any videos, just know that he was like that when I got him. It's not a big deal, but I do have a little bit of moist substrate in his enclosure, which you can kind of keep a little bit of humidity. Obviously not too much because you don't want to give him a respiratory infection or anything like that. You really can't drench down their enclosure like you would say a box turtle. That wouldn't be best for our Hermans, but a little bit of humidity really does go a long way with their shell growth. It keeps it moist and everything. So I've got humidity in there now, and I'm hoping that we can prevent that from getting any worse. Another thing I want to show you guys is his beak. I asked her if she fed him on anything like a slate or a terracotta, and she did say no. So his beak is not overgrown. Again, he is only 2.5 years old, but you can definitely see how his beak isn't flush with like the bottom of his mouth. So that does tell me that she definitely didn't feed him on anything to keep that trim. So I do have terracotta and slate in his enclosure now to feed him on. Can you guys see that a little bit? It's nothing serious whatsoever, but we do want to prevent that from getting worse in the future. So we're taking care of that, isn't that right? Other than those 2 things, I would say he was taken care of excellently. He's doing really well. I am gonna go on and put him back so that we don't stress him out. He's gonna have to get a soak right after this video. But yeah, that is Blue, my Eastern Hermann's tortoise. Because Blue is a tortoise, he does not get any protein the way that Koa would get worms. So right now he does eat a varied diet. I am giving him different things like weeds, flowers, clovers, dandelions. I am growing some fresh hibiscus. I do have to wait about 3 months for that tree to get some new blooms with the organic topsoil, which I explained in a different video for you guys. He's also getting a little bit of spring mix and of course calcium. Also, he is temporarily in Koa's old tortoise house. I am very excited to upgrade him, so if you guys want to stay tuned for that video, I will be building him a custom tortoise house very soon. I'm very excited about that. If you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you guys can see that video whenever we get it built. But yeah guys, that is the story of how I came to own Blue, my new Eastern Hermann's tortoise. I love him so much. He's absolutely adorable, and I'm so grateful that everything worked out and that I now have him. I hope you guys enjoy seeing him, and stay tuned for the many videos of him in the future. I'm just really happy. If you do not already follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, I will put that on the screen for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about Blue, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will be answering all of your questions down there. I will see you guys in my next video. Be kind. Bye.